Just connecting these real quick. Hold on. Just connecting these real quick. It's all been. I have professional cameras and everything. I'll hook it up, man. I'm telling you. Self-made this one. If you need me to come out,
I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying if you want to bring my camera, I will. I'll come film. If you can
Testing. Perfect.
Okay. 20 seconds. Well, I mean, like if I'm gonna do
20 seconds.
Filming.
These, you got those on your headphones. You don't really need those headphones. You just need them on.
What?
So the volume doesn't go out. Yeah. So in the break, you can answer questions there. I know. Let's make this happen. So you want to talk into that?
And it's that time again. It's Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. It's the Vincent LaSpada Show. I'm your host, Vincent LaSpada. Alongside is I got a room full of people here. I feel like this is the White House, and we're blowing up with video, audio. But listen, I gotta introduce my panel. Nico, are we at 1 million followers?
I wish, man. We're close. We're getting there.
On the side of him, to my right, is Long Island Mike C. What's going on, bud?
Great to be here, and it's a special day when we have the top 1% here. So
EC3 is in the building, man. I'm so glad you joined us today. What's going on, my friend?
Well, first off, the top 1% has been brutally executed many years ago. Starting
I'm glad I didn't say that.
Brutally. I mean, just
his narrative, let him go.
dragged over coals, decapitated, destroyed, gone forever. The essential character remains in the remnants, and I'm damn happy to be here. Where else would I rather be on a Sunday afternoon than with Big V wearing sunglasses?
Big V, I like that. Big
sunglasses indoors. You know what my dad says about guys that wear sunglasses indoors?
What's that?
Calls them assholes. But I do. That's my dad, EC2. That's not me. We're friends here, especially because you're helping me.
Allowed, Heather. That word's allowed.
The dump button. But we're friends, especially because you're gonna help me promote some interesting stuff.
We're gonna listen. It's gonna be a good partnership. I have a feeling it's gonna be. Man, I gotta get right into it, man. You got the internet and the wrestling world buzzing with Control Your Narrative. Yeah. Tell me exactly what it is.
I don't know, wrestling. No, all right.
Is it a combination of fighting and wrestling, or I mean, is it just wrestling?
Got us all kind of in limbo of what it is, because we know there's WWE and AEW.
Right.
But like, what's Control Your Narrative?
Control Your Narrative is a mindset, and it was an idea. It was the idea that happened when you mentioned the top percent. Kind of lost it all. He went away. He was destroyed. Through the pandemic, life became hard and difficult for a lot of us, right? You know, everyone had trials or tribulations, trial by fire, so to speak. We developed a mindset, control your narrative, and that's to tell your story. So I know this is not an elevator pitch, this is long form.
No, we want to hear it. We want to hear it. Give it to us.
So control your narrative. As I was released from WWE, I had 90 days to create something new, unique, 90 days to become who I wanted to be. And that is what you see before you now, the essential character EC3. Through the powers of social media, I know you have TikTok going over here, you have Instagram, he's over there on MySpace, Facebook Live. We got it all cooking here today, but through social media, you have this opportunity to be able to talk to people straight. So I was able to tell my story. WWE didn't really tell my story. I wasn't even allowed to speak. And imagine that, look how good I do on the radio here, right? I'm like, fantastic. So each and every week I was coming out with promos, sort of to say, hey, this is what I'm going to be, this is who I'm going to become. I had no inclination of which company I was going to go to. Would it be an AEW? Would it be an Impact? Would it have been Ring of Honor? At the same time, it didn't matter because nobody knew what was happening. Were there even going to be companies in 90 days? Was there even going to be a world? Would it be a post-apocalyptic hellish landscape where I'm hunting boar in the streets? I don't know. But I was going to find out. So through Control Your Narrative and being able to tell my story, we start doing promos. 90 days is coming up. What are you going to do? I don't know if you know this about corporate wrestling world, but once you enter that realm, you you might have some freedom, but you don't have total freedom. So what I wanted to do was show the world who I was in the ring. So I created what they called a cinematic match at the time, but I didn't want to do a cinematic match that was full of dump unready. Bullshit. Thank you. I wanted to do something that was real, gritty, raw, and in the vein of Fight Club, right? So, film my own cinematic match. My partner, JC, he's the narrator through the narrative, and we decided to keep this going. So many people, like talents, fans alike, were catching on with the sort of movement to be able to tell your story. The fight for control, freedom, and purpose, that we made an entire feature called Free the Narrative. From Free the Narrative, we put that on Fight TV. It was whatever. I had Matt Cardona. We'd had this great little story. I threw toys in his face, thumbtack. I don't know. But through Free the Narrative, I even took a guy like Matt Cardona, who now became something new, more unique, different. He's the king of the indies.
Right.
Never in a million years would you think it. But
That,
yeah.
for sure. I would never would have thought about that.
But through the process of self-evaluation, assimilation, the attempt to do something new and different, he became who he was supposed to be. And he's an asshole too, but I love him. But he's doing fantastic. So this found inspiration in other sports entertainers, wrestlers, especially those controlled by these corporations, the creative freedom they don't have. Some of the most miserable millionaires you will ever meet reside within corporate wrestling. One of those was a friend of mine, Adam Scher, who came to the Narrative's office, mentioned, someday I would love to be a part of this. This is intriguing to me. I haven't watched wrestling in completion, but I was up all night watching this, thinking about what it could be. And I'm like, if that bridge ever happened, if that road ever opened, of course, whatever. We'll see what happens. Next day, boom, fired. Whoa. It's like happenstance, right?
He literally talked to you the day before.
The day before.
Wow.
The day before.
And he's a huge star. I mean, at this
Still
point,
is, yeah.
I mean, he's one of the big, and free agent wise, like he's the very top of the pinnacle as far as people that company wants to acquire.
Yeah.
So to have him
A bona fide WrestleMania main event.
absolutely any day of the week and to have him with you
Well,
is really exciting.
it's funny you say that because one of my questions on is EC3. I'm gonna tell you, you're very talented, and I'm gonna tell you what, you were the face of Impact. You were. To me, you were the face of Impact, and every week you brought it 100%. And even NXT when we used to go to Full Sail, you were it.
I had the people holding the thing. Yeah.
You were it, man. I'm telling you what, you were. I feel
am
like
the
you
man.
were.
I
You
know.
were bigger. Honestly, I like Adam Cole, and I think Adam Cole is a great wrestler. But you had that crowd by your hand, and when the top 1% came on, it was it. Like people knew, like they're gonna get a show. And
were you watching the internet when you saw in the back and you weren't getting the exposure you should be getting? Were you seeing the internet kind of react to this is complete waste of talent?
In a sense, but it's very
I know
easy.
I was going. I was unloading on Twitter and all this.
It's very easy to also not be fooled, but to validate your own opinions via finding the right feedback on the internet. So for every person, especially when I launched the idea of CYN getting a TV deal, who says we suck and we're the worst ever, they don't know yet, and that's okay, and that's how you react to things that are different. But at the same time, a lot of people saying this is going to be awesome. I have a lot of work to do to make it awesome, but you can easily validate what you're feeling by looking at the internet. So I try not to. I like feedback, but I don't want to be like, retweet, yeah, I'm getting buried. That's...
I see it. I'm a social media influencer, and I'm on the internet.
500,000 TikTok
I know,
followers.
man. And when I see you on there and see that you're not being utilized right, and by the way, CYN, I'm also seeing that buzz right now all over. Everyone's like, what exactly is this?
And you don't know. And you know what?
That's
Wrestling
the beauty.
fans, the beauty of it, but wrestling fans hate the unknown.
They do.
Well, I love it.
They want Dave Meltzer to report it right now. What's going on?
What's
Who's
he
everyone
do-
on your card? They want to know.
What's he said about it? Nothing, probably, because he doesn't know, because no one's stooging off. No one's saying anything. And I think that's what's missing in this industry is surprise. We don't have that anymore.
I tell you what, one thing I've been watching, I watched Final Battle a couple times, and I love when you came out and said, anyone listening from any company, we are here to take back the industry and rebuild. So let me get this straight. You want to make sure that all the wrestlers out there that have not been used correctly to come, that you're going to idolize them and control your narrative? Because I feel like this could be a top contender for AEW, for WWE.
I want all talent to know that the opportunity is there, because just because they're going through what they feel they may be going through, maybe they aren't good enough too. Maybe I wasn't good enough in WWE. We can't just blame everybody else. You have to take accountability for yourself. The only thing you can react to is what happens to you. You can't change what happens to you. You can't predict what's going to happen to you. It's all how you react to what happens to you. So for a line like that, yeah, the door is open for anyone to knock, to seek opportunity. I want to facilitate a place where they too can get what I got, a cathartic release, by them controlling their narrative, being able to tell their story. It might suck. It might be awesome.
There's no way it's going to suck with you, Adam, Scher, and Killer Cross. Yeah. It's absolutely impossible that show is going to suck.
Well, just remember, this is not an invasion. It's not an invasion.
It's an awakening.
An awakening. And I love this line because your first event is called Awakening. It's on March 5th. It's on a Saturday night.
Right here in Orlando.
Right here in Orlando.
Tin roof.
And my question.
Hottest spots in Orlando.
So before we get to the promotion, I want to talk about when you made your debut in Ring of Honor. Is this a signed contract, or is this just a movement where they give you a platform and a spot to come and control your narrative?
The original, when I first started there,
when you debuted,
it was kind of let's see what happens. So it was definitely a forum. It was two-pronged attack because I desperately did need to see if honor was real, which was the message I had through Ring of Honor. Is honor real? Yada yada. But at the same time, I knew through there I can continue to work on what I'm developing over here. Control your narrative. And then I think they would intersect. They would be who's got a word for it? Intertwined is good enough. So, yeah, keeping them together, but the idea was to, yes, I'm going to push their brand. I'm going to go forward. Yes, I want to be the Ring of Honor champion. Well, at the same time, I have carte blanche to create over here, control your narrative, and what it will become.
We have 2 minutes left until the end of this segment. I got one question to ask you. I
didn't even finish what I am, but go ahead.
We have more segments.
We have more segments. What is one thing that you think that the wrestling world today is lacking?
Storytelling.
Storytelling
with depth, feeling, and emotion. Storytelling that results in moments. I remember what made me a fan were like certain moments and the emotion I felt. It wasn't the moves, wasn't the titles, so to speak, unless the victory overcoming the odds was the moment. It was just something innate you felt inside that I think is not replicated, because I do think our industry has a tendency to do what they think they should do as opposed to what they want to do. Everybody's doing the same thing. I understand the fear in not following the mold because you're open to criticism, complaints, critiques. Plus, as we talked about social media, they're right there for you to read. Every damn word of them, you can see someone talking about you like that. Having the ability to let that slide and become who you're supposed to be, create what you want to, is a difficult road, but it's the road well-traveled.
Well, listen, when we come back here on the Vince and Laspada Show, we're going to get more back into EC3. Plus, if you want to talk to the man of the hour, EC3, give me a call, 321-339-1055. Text or call in. You'll listen to the Vince and Laspada Show right here on the Florida Man Radio Network.
We started real good.
Man.
We're still live on TikTok.
We're still live on
Still live on Instagram. Florida Man Radio. Do you guys have an Insta handle? Should I?
At the Vince and Laspada Show.
Put yourself over, man.
I do that enough.
Don't worry about us.
It's all about creating the narrative now.
Vincent.
Controlling the narrative.
Laspada. L-A.
Yeah.
S-P-A-D-A. Man, you're local here in Orlando, correct?
I am, yeah.
You got to come. I have a restaurant.
No shit.
It's called Laspada's Cheesesteaks and Hoagies from Philadelphia.
Oh, so I can't eat anything there?
Huh?
So I can't eat anything there?
No. We have
all the cheat day.
No, we also have grilled chicken salads. We have a bunch of stuff.
What do you eat for dinner?
3 cows.
What day?
Last night.
Last night, sweet potatoes and 6 ounces of liver.
Jesus
It was
Christ.
great. The sweet potatoes were awesome. Air fried them up, put some sugar-free syrup on it. It was good. Every meal is chicken, rice,
You got
cream of
really
rice.
ripped outside of WWE when you were done. Like I
It
saw
was
you
not-
in some kind of
I was
promotion,
getting-
like, holy
I was
fuck.
getting that ripped within WWE, so it's not a drug test thing, as people would say. But I really locked in
Yeah.
diet. My diet was always I didn't know what worked for me, so I was always careful with the diet. But like when I figured out what worked for me, I started working with a professional coach. Changed my life.
Do you do any intermittent fasting?
I used to, not anymore. Maybe on like an off day, I'll occasionally jump in there to kind of reset the body, but it's definitely worth doing.
And sometimes you don't have a choice, right? Like you just don't have time to eat. Maybe.
Well, I always planned accordingly.
Liver and
like-
sweet potatoes.
What?
yeah.
Well, liver. People are getting.
No, liver's great.
Oh, that's
dude.
good. People are getting into liver.
Yeah,
And I put a little.
If there's one thing
I
you can
just
tell
feel like a
somebody
loser,
like
'cause you're all
me or
ripped
somebody in this room that is trying to lose weight, what would I know everybody says eating is like that's the most important
It's
thing.
everything,
Yep.
yeah.
And you gotta cut out drinking.
And you don't drink beer,
Yeah.
so like I don't know.
You don't
what's
drink
going
alcohol
on.
at all?
I'm a party animal. I used to get fucking wasted. But I lost interest. Like when the pandemic hit, I stopped having fun too. So it was like,
Right, we all did.
this wasn't really fun. And then it did help me. Not that like I drank so much it ruined my diet, but like, oh, it's fucking Saturday night. I'm drunk. I want to go home. Fuck it. You know, then you have that bad meal and stuff like that. So I will have a tequila or a scotch with the boys, and I'll still turn it on a little bit. But yeah, I don't drink beer anymore. But it's gonna be diet, man. I'll make you a diet. I got an app for that.
Discipline is just
You got an
crazy.
app for it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
No, you're not
Hey,
lying.
you know what
I
though?
just-
He's been doing pretty good though.
Can I get a pen?
Been doing pretty good.
I really do need to cut all the bullshit out. This
He's
is
not
so
doing-
hard.
He's not doing EC3 good.
It's
No,
just,
no.
it's
And
so
I'm a-
hard, man.
I'm a
When you work at a
psychopath.
restaurant and everything's fattening. Like
Yeah,
everything's
true.
bread in my freaking.
You
I
don't.
showed my wife a picture and she was like, whoa. She's just like, you're that kind of rich.
Does she
Like,
have any friends?
Absolutely. We'll make that happen. 30 days.
Because I'm eating liver and sweet potatoes alone last night. And I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking loser. I'm so alone.
Dude, let's go out on the town, man. That's
Wanna
all
go
we
out on
gotta
the town?
do. Go
No,
out
but
on
like,
the
I'm
town.
not gonna meet a wife out there. I've tried that.
Yeah,
I met a lot of wives for the night,
scallywags at the
They're
bar.
all the scallywags.
especially downtown
for
here.
the streets.
You've been at downtown Sanford?
Downtown is hood rat.
Downtown what?
Downtown
Downtown
Sanford?
Sanford, man.
That's
No,
where
I,
it's at.
might be, I live in Winter Garden, which is
Downtown
real
Sanford.
fun.
Let's
where
go,
it's
man.
at.
We'll
bet it
take
is.
you out on the night.
Sanford is where it's at. It's blowing up.
What's our time?
It really is.
1
All right.
minute. Here, you want to connect these live so you're on the line?
Yeah, I was
I was trying to fuck that.
We're trying to fuck it up.
Yeah.
So you're on. So I don't get to join your TikTok live.
Yeah, we're connected. Are you live still?
Yeah, I'm live.
All right, let's go live.
We'll get in.
You don't have your headphones on though, do you?
No, but I have the.
Try it for a month, because that's a free month.
I can turn
If you
off
can
my
do it, if you
phone.
like it. Like,
What are we at?
Now I have to mute mine.
Did you connect? You gotta turn on your headphones. You don't have headphones, you didn't bring them like I said to you.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh wait, mic.
Oh yeah.
Are you in, Vince? It won't let you?
Mine.
But here's the thing too. Also, if mine needs to. It's not. It's
Loser.
not like you go. It's not like you go.
How do I
let me-
know how
let me
to turn that
connect you.
off?
A lot of my stuff's processed. A lot of my stuff's processed. So
End it. End it.
I thought you were pointing at me. Yes, but also you can.
30 seconds.
If you gotta eat it, you gotta eat it. It's all right.
This is
I
so
do
hard.
want a cheesesteak.
I got 3 restaurants. It's so hard, man. Not 3, and I do filming on the side. I do this.
Who makes your T-shirts?
Who makes my t-shirts?
Yeah.
Need to be more prepared.
Why, you know somebody?
I have a print shop in Winter Garden.
Oh, this might be a good thing here.
I'm so happy we're here.
That's a good thing. I'm telling you, this is a good thing, man. I'm telling
Big
you.
B.
I'm telling you, Big B, EC3. Oh, look at that!
The f-
That's a new tag team.
The EC3.
EC3 and
That
EC3.
cheesesteak, bro.
I will.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, you got to come in. We're gonna do a cooking section. I had Matt Riddle on a couple months ago. He came in the kitchen and cooked.
Turned up. My dad's coming to town. I'll bring him.
And we're back here on 105.5 FM, 660 AM, Florida Man Radio. There goes my mic. It just fell down. Back on the show, EC3, man. So glad to have you in the studio. I gotta get right into it, man, because I know a lot of people want to ask. The NXT run, man. I gotta tell you, was fantastic to me. I mean, if there's one person that you would have to say that you really enjoyed working with, you guys had real good chemistry, who would it be?
from the NXT days. I mean, we kicked it off with that ladder match, an alleged 5-star match. You know what I got for having a 5-star match?
$10.
Fired. Nothing. It doesn't matter. Someone's opinion doesn't matter, you see? But, like, I mean, well, who do we have in that match? Ricochet, Cole, myself.
Oh, in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I was there.
Dream.
I was there. You were there too, right?
I wasn't there.
I know.
Yeah, Killian Dane.
Killian Dane, right?
Lars.
That was a great match.
Lars was.
He's... Yes. We actually, with him, because he's such a... And another thing you mentioned about what's missing in wrestling is, like, physical brutality and intimidation. So, whatever his past is... He was a just beast. He was one of the strongest pound-for-pound people I've ever met. And I remember having a match with him in NXT that I was so happy with because it was, like, different. Because we were just hitting each other. And it was physical. And, like, I think that's missing in wrestling, too. It's, like, a lot of, I don't want to say play fighting, but aggressive, hard dancing, in a sense, sometimes.
Is there
the
anybody...
reality's gone.
Yeah. No, for sure. Killian Dane is a great...
Killian Dane is an interesting folk. I wonder if he wants to control his narrative. Maybe he'll be there 3-5 at the 10-minute in Orlando. Maybe Dane will make an appearance. Maybe.
If there's one person that currently on the roster or even in AEW that you could work with, that you see so much potential in, who is it?
Peacemaker.
Ah, nice. Gotta love that show.
Isn't it incredible?
Vigilante is like the best character I've ever seen in my life.
What is that guy from anything else?
He was. He was in some other shows.
He's a DC.
He's from something. But
What? Who are we talking about?
Peacemaker.
No, well, John Cena.
Big job.
No, Vigilante. What's he from before?
I don't know. But he's clever. But as far as wrestling-wise, on any roster at this moment, that's a good question I didn't come prepared for. In a past life, it's probably MJF because of our similarities. And
What a talker. I mean, his wrestling. To me, I keep telling people his wrestling skills are as good as the Miz, but I think the Miz and MJF are they're great talkers.
Yeah. A thing about what we do too, like Miz, it's almost like like the Miz is not that good. No, he's awesome. He does so many great things, but you don't notice them unless you're within the industry and the mindset. It's like watching a musician play sometimes. Like, you could see things that other people can't. But, like, yeah, both them. And he's young, so kudos to him. In a past life, perhaps the top 1% would have fared well with him. I mean, up and coming, like
AEW roster.
I've wrestled majority of the people that became top WWE guys just via developmental and things like that. Like Randy Orton would be one, obviously, just because I'm so fond of his work and he's so good and smooth and one of the best of all times. AEW wise, Adam Cole, I don't know.
Well, I think people forget too is that
I could bring something new out of Hangman Page that I don't think he has yet. I know that.
Let me ask you this. There's a guy out there that just recently took his ball and went home. Cody Rhodes.
Oh, yeah?
Could you see yourself fighting him? Could you see yourself wrestling?
In real life, yeah.
Could you see...
In a wrestling match, yeah.
Could you see him in your narrative?
The door is open to knock. I don't know if it would intrigue him or not, but yeah, I could see anybody. I could see you in the narrative. I actually...
Oh, I'm in the narrative. Don't worry about that.
Saturday afternoon, I was running meetings at my office, which is Foxtail and Winter Garden. And somebody who's a fan of wrestling, was an aspiring wrestler, now he's working in real life. He wanted to help out with CYN and things. I'm like, yeah, well, just come meet me. But like the story he told me and what he wants to do, and he does want to wrestle, but it's not like a full time. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I know where I'm at. I know who I am. I'm very happy with it. But just one time, I want to make my daughters proud and see him in a match. And I was so intrigued with that story. Like, I want to make that happen more than I want to just dish out opportunities to people that are names anywhere and everywhere. If that makes sense. Like, I was like infatuated with that story. I'm like, could you do that as a promo? He's like, absolutely not. I'm like, you just told me everything I need to know. And that's like kind of what I want to do with CYN, is tell these realistic stories and bring things out of people.
You're a 4-time 24/7 champion.
Who gives a?
Hold on.
That answers the question.
You're
right
right.
there.
You're right. But I have to ask because when you were put in this role, I know you just said it was god awful, but
I didn't say that.
no. But I can just tell you
We all
this.
feel the same
I
way.
feel the same way because I feel like there are so many people that come from NXT that they throw into this god awful storyline and they run around the building like little girls chasing each other.
Yeah.
What's your thought process on this 24/7 championship?
At that point, I was so checked out. Like whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
and
I'll
like,
go chase them.
I mean, you asked the thought process too, and you kind of alluded to it, where they made you hold a red cup. No one made me hold the red cup, but when I do these segments and I notice everyone's pretending and feigning happiness, none of us are happy. So why am I going to pretend I'm happy or act as though I'm happy? Let me just be who I really am. And at that time, EC3 would not mind having a red cup, and you don't know what's in it. Probably Tito's.
You know you're a star when you're sitting in the catering with a red cup
And you
and
get
you're
it over?
blowing up on Twitter. Yeah, exactly. Like that's insane.
It is what it is, but it is the past, and it made me who I am today to be able to do this. So
I have a buddy that just left WWE. Now he's trying to get an AEW, and he tells me, and a lot of the guys say the same thing. It's not about being in the company. It's at the end of the day, the paycheck is good.
it does cash.
Yeah.
It
So
does-
I mean, that's
it does come
a
in
lot
on
of the
that.
guys say they give you stupid storylines, but at the end of the day, if that cash is cashing into the bank, then it doesn't matter. Like Riddle, we've hung out with Riddle before. We've talked to Riddle, but I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, you guys are not going to think. I think the storyline with Riddle and Randy Orton is just crap. I mean, every week he comes out with some stupid story like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna have a camel with a skateboard. You want to go?" It's like, dude, grow up. What are you, 6? I mean, come on.
But you act like he's in the back going, "Hey, I should write a camel."
No, he's not.
bro."
He's-
like he's just saying, "Okay, cool."
I know.
He's smiling and saying, "I'm collecting my check. Whatever you need, bro."
These are the things you have to accept
Right.
when you sign that dotted line, and it's unfortunate, but you also know that getting into it, you just don't know how it's going to affect you or how bad it's going to be when you do. Because I knew going back I'd run the risk of exactly what happening. I didn't, but the thing was I
should have went a different angle. In a
it
lot of
could
wrestling.
have. It
could
doesn't
have
mean
been
it should
so great.
have. It could have. But I never, when I signed and I knew the mentality of the locker room, I'm friends with a lot of people, I know all these things, I promised myself, I said, I will not feel that way no matter what. I will try every day. No matter what, I'll constantly be pitching. They will not get me. They will not keep me down. This will not happen to me. And I let it quickly because it's that disheartening. And there isn't an amount of money, too. So we talk about the checks cashing. But if you're a creative person and you sell that out, there is never an amount of money that's enough for you to feel good. And it happens to a lot. But there is enough money that can set you up for life. So you have to. It's a catch-22.
And you're also a 2-time TNA heavyweight champion, world heavyweight champion.
Proud of that.
So,
You
and
got
I,
a run, dude. Like,
yeah.
Let's take a moment to
that's a great run.
Acknowledge that.
For you debuting, to you in your championship run, you were the man. And not only the man in Impact, but the man in pro wrestling for a long period of time. There was question going, what's he gonna do? Oh, nice. I love it. It was a historic run, let's be honest. And Impact at the time, they were kind of in the toilet.
Yeah.
And you brought them right out of it.
AJ was
You made them
13
relevant.
when you
You
came
made
in.
them relevant
You took
again.
right over.
Yeah, I would
You
have
should
loved
be
to
proud
work
of
with them. I'm proud of having the opportunity to be able to become who I was in that moment and, be able to share the ring with guys like Matt and Jeff Hardy, to defeat Kurt Angle for a World Heavyweight Championship, by the way, to have the opportunity to grow and bond with Rockstar Spud, then shave his head in the UK. And again, within wrestling in the corporate landscape, there was a lot of freedom for me to be able to develop. The difference between that and WWE was I knew if I failed, it wouldn't get pulled from me unless I kept failing. So with WWE, if one thing goes wrong, you become so paranoid and job scared that you can never perform again. While with Impact, I'm like, I could take this risk. If it pans out, great. If it doesn't, I'm not going to be thrown right away. Maybe I'll be told, don't do that again, and I won't, but there was a bit of confidence. And when they're behind you just a little bit, having that confidence as a performer carries you a long way. If you just think everyone's out to get you, then you're dead in the water.
So would you say working for TNA, supposed to WWE, you had more creative control than TNA?
Define creative control. Like, I never said I need to win this match and this guy shouldn't win this match.
No, but what I mean,
pitch an angle and
yeah,
whoever's
They're
in the back running
more-
it, judge, or I don't know who at the time was running it, but they would be like, yeah, run with that.
Yes.
Like when you ran for president. That was
Yeah.
that was a fun run.
Was that your? Were you like, I want to run?
I
for
was
president,
so
or you got-
into House of Cards pre-Kevin Spacey being a murderer, well, admitting he's a murderer, that, you know, the second I saw him do the... I was like, I just want to do that in wrestling. I don't know how. Well, why don't I just run for president?
Right.
But then you bring that idea to creative, and Impact Creative at the time had like 2 to 3 writers as opposed to 78 people running around with like laptops, not knowing what's going on, bashing their head against the wall, having some old man change everything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it was easier to get those ideas out there and craft. I'm very careful about my words and things like that, and be able to speak words often. See,
yeah,
that was a joke. No, but like verbatim, like what I like to say, there was far more freedom as opposed to here is your script, word for word, memorize it. I don't know if I'd say this, and this. It doesn't matter. You say it. Oh, okay. And then, well, can I say this instead? Yeah, sure.
How are you and Tyrus these days? I mean, you guys were a great combination, and he's gone on to
He wears,
things with
yeah,
Fox.
he's on
Political.
Gutfeld show often
Gutfeld.
with his title.
Yeah.
With his last time I talked to him was today because we are in this giant text group for curling in the Olympics.
It's good stuff.
So what Tyrus does is take Murdoch money and constantly makes insane side bets.
Y'all are
Some
doing
he wins.
curling side bets.
Yeah, well, we all have a team. I think I'm Russia. I don't even.
I got 500 on Russia to win. In
Exactly.
curling.
Yeah.
You're still very close. Any chance of Tyrus stopping by Orlando anytime in the next couple of weeks?
Unless he brings Tucker Carlson with him, I don't know. He will not be in Orlando.
We only have a couple minutes left. Are you going to announce any matches prior to Control Your Narrative going live on March 5th?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Are we only have a couple minutes with me left?
No.
Oh, this segment?
Next segment.
So why don't we take a break, and when we come back, let's talk more Control Your Narrative, and let's maybe he can give us a little sneak peek of what's going on for
behind the scenes
Orlando show March 5th
Maybe I'll drop you some
And
dirt.
Roof.
at the Tin
Look
Roof.
for the big wheel.
And again, if you want to get in on the action, give us a call. 321-339-1055 is the number to call or text in to talk to the man of the hour, EC3. Until then, we'll see you guys at the end of the break.
People love this fucking song.
Yeah.
Kind of bops.
It was, when you hit the impact zone, it was incredible. I mean, the first 3 matches or so fighting the TNA legends,
Oh,
and
the
bring out
jobs,
like
yeah.
Shark Boy and this and that.
See, they're just behind
They
it.
were all hating on you, and then you actually got in and started wrestling, and you worked your way up to Sting and everything else. What a turnaround where you got instant heat and just turned it, and then you were the total face.
It's amazing what you just, I don't know.
Being a
You
wrestler.
Yeah, you just
We have 2 listener
give somebody an
All
opportunity.
right, let's ask them.
One is how you got started in wrestling.
Oh, no,
Wants
thank
to know, and then
No, I'm good, please.
Flower Dahlia says, ask him if he's interested. I have a friend who owns a gym that does MMA, jiu-jitsu, and more in Michigan.
Hey, I got this black belt jiu-jitsu
Good
guy.
Did
Did you fight him?
You want him in the narrative?
No, I wouldn't do that deal.
Okay, I know nothing about wrestling, so that joke went over my head.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I like your glasses.
I'd say it's
So what do
great to hear everything that you have from March 5th going forward for 2022.
Yeah,
Your
let's talk
vision
about
of your
March.
future.
Let's talk about the show here and then Dallas.
Get some
I like his eyes, like,
And we're all going to Dallas too, so we want to run from
Please
here
come.
all
Can
the
you
way-
bring your shit?
I'll bring my shit.
We want to run your shit from
Looking
here all
for
the way to
bear.
Dallas. Like,
I'll come by every couple weeks, dudes. Do you have a decent following outside of the area? I would imagine you have 500,000.
Yeah, on TikTok and Twitter.
Word is going to be important because, again, people still don't know what we are. I had to say we're signed a TV deal, which is true, for people to go like, and I had to phrase it like we're a promotion. You know what I mean? When am I really a promotion? I don't know yet. We'll find out.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
We're all making the trip out there.
The rumblings are out there, man.
It never gets buzz when I do things the right way, so I just had to go through the.
I was just thinking, we
basic.
were talking about it, and like, think about all the buzz that AEW got with Young Bucks and Cody, and like, you have fucking you, Adam, and Killer. Like, that's three. That's way bigger names.
And Damien.
And way bigger draws. Like, those are like fucking Young Bucks aren't draws like you guys. Like, so when you get your shit going, and you get your roster going, I think it's gonna be really exciting.
What about you and Johnny Curtis? You guys in talks?
Yeah, you can bring him up if you want.
You think we'll see Johnny Curtis over there?
Ask me.
Save that for the radio.
Ask
Save
me.
it for the
Do you have your whole card mapped out already?
Yeah, but it keeps changing.
I don't need it.
I think he's great.
I matches now.
Well, the intent was to have 7 to 8, but now it might be 5 because.
Max
If
Caster's
I-
going on live right after you guys.
Oh, we'll have 7 that day. But for Dallas, I might allude to something, but don't push me too hard on it because I can't talk about it.
No, let's push this for March 5th.
Yeah,
And then we'll
when I talk about
March
when I talk about 331, and allude to something,
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys off.
But the next show, 2 weeks from now, we can get someone next week, and then March 6th, we'll just start promoting Dallas.
Right.
And we'll go from there. Because we take this and we podcast it out. And
Well,
promote it on
I like what he said. Do you think, we want to promote you all the way up to the show. Do you think next week we can get somebody else to come on for it from Control Your Narrative?
Adam won't be in town, but I'll definitely try to bring him in at some point.
What about
You guys can
Killian?
both come in if you want.
Killian, if I announce him, I got to make sure he's down, and I have him for the
Or Killer Cross.
Killer, not Killian.
I know.
Killer is playing cards close to his vest,
If you
so
and
he's
Adam-
associated
either
with
Adam
us.
Or you and Adam, that'd be like if we have a full week to promote that shit, we'll put it on
Adam
all
would be
the
great,
things and
yeah.
we'll run with it. Like just let us know ahead of time.
Adam would be great here.
For sure.
He'd thrive in this room too.
Well, you said he's on town next week.
You're thriving. Right?
He's out of town, yeah.
What about if we get him during the week or something? We can just maybe.
He's out of town. Like he might not be back. I'll ask him. But he's not back
I
till.
was saying, even if he was in town for a couple of days, we could get him together. I can come over there, record wherever he's at, a couple questions or something, and throw him on the show.
Okay.
Promoting.
Yeah.
Do you have your own podcast or anything?
We did one through the YouTube on the narrative, but it was mostly to test out what we were gonna be.
Yeah, 10
It's
episodes, right?
Yeah, it sucked.
I watched about 4 of them.
You
yesterday.
did?
Are you getting good views on it though?
No. Our narrative shit doesn't.
I watched
no
it.
one knows
I watched
yet,
it. I just watched it last night.
No
I was
one
scrolling. The part where you walk into the bar, you lock the door, and you and Adam are sitting at the bar, and you're talking, and Adam's sitting there sobbing with whiskey.
Yeah.
That was great
That
because
was-
this teddy bear is crying.
That was,
You're gonna see it. It's great.
That was post his release. Yeah. Well, if you want to bring that up,
How
you
long?
can.
30 seconds. Okay.
Hey, let's get some.
But are you guys? But when you said bring it up, are you guys still talking though? You and Fandango?
Bring it up.
Bring it up.
Get up to the show, bro.
CYN 35 Orlando.
With the Vincent LaSpada Show on Florida Man Radio.
And we're back with the third and final segment of the Vincent LaSpada Show. That is the Dead Man, the 2022 Hall of Fame inductee, The Undertaker.
I wasn't going, but damn it, I can't miss that.
I cannot miss.
I watched him as a little child.
1990 he debuted,
I mean, I
man.
remember him walking by me as a little kid and being truly scared by this man, and now his whole career has gone before me, and this man's. It's.
I'm
sad.
excited.
It's
I'm
sad.
excited for Dallas.
What's your favorite Taker match of all time?
Oh man, I was live at 28 with him and Triple H with HBK.
I was there
at Hell in the Cell, and that was just unforgettable. But I was also there when he got rid of Shawn Michaels in was it 26?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
That was just loud.
You know why you love those so much? Because it was storytelling.
Absolutely. I was gonna say
emotion, character, and moments.
I would say
he's the greatest storyteller of all time.
I would say my top 2 Undertaker matches would be Bad Blood 96 with Taker and Shawn, or WrestleMania 13 with him and Sid.
Really?
Love Sid. I love.
Did you ever hear about the story when Sid wasn't no-showed an indie and I was in town? So they said, "Hey, can you come do this show real fast?" And I said, "Yeah, why? What's up?" And they're like, "Well, Sid didn't get on the plane. I'm like, I'll be there. But then I went and I bought like a vest and a yellow wig.
Like you were Sid.
And I worked the show as Sid. So it was AEW. Oh, excuse me. Freudian slip. AIW in Cleveland, Ohio. My favorite Taker match, besides the ones mentioned, is No Way Out 2006 with Kurt Angle.
Ooh.
That was just like so good. So like physicality wise, storytelling, things like that.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, you want to see Kurt Angle? You want to see Kurt Angle control his narrative? I don't know. Maybe I've been trying
yes,
to.
please.
I do this thing.
There's no other way to say that than yes, please.
I don't know if he could tell it per se in the ring, but I've been doing this thing where I reach out to names and legends in the past, people that could move this forward, and hopefully have enough respect to actually open my letters. But yeah, Kurt Angle, I sent a long form written word to, and I'm waiting to hear back.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited about Control Your Narrative.
March 5th. Tin Roof here in Orlando.
You know what? You know why March 5th?
The wheel, right by the wheel.
Right under the wheel.
Right under the wheel.
Oh, it's outside?
No. I mean,
it's literally right in front
the
of
building's
it.
Okay.
Forget
Right
I
in
ever said
front of
that. I suck. The reason March 5th happened too is because the idea was to take CYN and do live events, but the first one was going to be Dallas. Adam and I were booked to go to Dubai, so that got postponed due to some COVID restrictions through the government, and so we're looking at it and we're like, why not? We owe Orlando something. Orlando is our home. It's been our home for a while. It's going to be our home for a very long time. Orlando, let's start this here. Let's do this right. And we know a cool, unique venue like the Tin Roof is a perfect place to test this out, because this will be typical wrestling in a sense, but it's going to be anything but typical. I have different theories. I have different ideas. I have different ways I want to, quote, entertain the fans, but I also have different ways that I see wrestling developing and storytelling and action and things of that nature. So I'd like to test it out in Orlando, and I would love your honest feedback after the show. What did you like? What didn't you like? 3-5 Tin Roof, Orlando, Florida, starting at 7 o'clock. Tickets available on OutHouseTickets.com. Look for CYN. What else can I say about it short of...
Maybe some Johnny Curtis,
maybe
a.k.a. Fandango.
Any appetizers for us? Come on.
Any Fandango?
Well, okay, Dango is a longtime friend, longtime enemy. One of these guys that you don't know how good he is.
Oh, we know.
We know how good he is.
Okay, well, I know too. I don't know if the world knows. And that's a guy like a him or a Weston Blake. Guys, I want to highlight what they can do, but like Fandango doesn't interest me. Johnny Curtis, I've done battles with. What I really want to see, and I might be able to see at 331 in Dallas, Texas, is the Violator.
Oh.
And who's the Violator? It's Johnny Curtis in a leather jacket. And that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Violator.
He's, one of the most legit, awesomely insane people for all the right reasons.
Now, have you and Adam thrown up some ideas about Dallas? I mean, I know Dallas is, I know we have to get through March 1st for March 5th Awakening. But have you and him thrown ideas around for Dallas, because it is WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, we're seeking the ultimate competition. So the main event of Dallas is structured at this moment, and I have an idea of what I want it to be, but it is going to be a 6-man tag, myself, Adam, and Killer Cross, because
my God,
it's kind of like, because you look at those you look at those 3 men and you're like, who can fight these people? Who could? Nobody. But we'll find out. So an applicable team of people of that caliber will be my objective, and I promise to deliver it.
That's going to be a heck of a main event.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
we'll all be there, no doubt about it. Hope anyone that's here
good.
in Orlando that's going to WrestleMania checks it out as well.
I think people are the interest, because I use keywords like television deal and wrestling company, have sparked interest, but it's also sparked the outlash and the fear of the 3-letter brand. So there's already an attempt to shut this show down. So I will not give.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah. Legitimate companies already fear us. So See what happens.
Well, we all have faith in you, and we know that Control Your Narrative is probably going to be something that we've not seen before, and hopefully, people are going to jump on the bandwagon and say, "Hey, listen, these guys aren't joking around; they're for real, and they're bringing some talent with them."
Yep. I mean, and two, I think wrestling needs something different, new, unique. Like, why do you love wrestling?
I've been just watching it my whole life, and for me to be able to indulge in it is a getaway for me.
What's the getaway? Like, what do you like to indulge in?
It's freedom. It's just sitting there and
Freedom,
watching. Yeah, because I'm sitting there watching quite frankly, two guys that are physically superior to me, like you. I mean, I'm not anywhere near physically what you are, and when you're in there
I'm
with
a hunk.
you're a hunk. You are, and when you're in there with another hunk like Adam Scher, and you two are beating the crap out of each other, I sit there and think, man, I'm sitting here watching the closest thing to the Coliseum that I can see.
Right, fighting.
Fighting. Two beasts.
You know what I miss? I'm sorry.
No, please.
You know what I miss? Honestly, I miss when I was a kid. And this might sound goofy to you guys, but I miss the battles between Gorilla Monsoon and Lord Alfred Hayes and Bobby Green Hayting, where they would do these stupid vignettes where like they're on the side of the road changing a tire, or just because Bobby Green Hayting, he brought so much heat. And then he started managing like Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect, and then you had Lord Alfred Hayes and Gorilla Monsoon there that would just bring it every single night. And when they added Vince, I thought when Vince came on, I didn't know nothing about Vince McMahon. I didn't know he owned the company until a couple years later. And I'm gonna tell you what, him and Gorilla Monsoon were just golden. But I miss announcers like that. Nothing against Pat McAfee. Nothing against any of the new guys. I just wish there were people like that, like the King. I don't understand why they always pass Jerry the King Lawler. I mean, he's such a classic commentator. We just don't have that anymore.
As a man behind a microphone, I know what you like. You like the commentating. You like those characters and physicality. We like conflict. We like engagement. We like character. We like people fighting for something. What are we fighting for? The narrative isn't necessarily going to be something where you fight to be the champion. What are you going to be a champion of? The Tin Roof? Come on. Be the champion of frickin' Gillies? You be the champion of the abandoned warehouse I filmed the narrative in? No, you're going to be the champion of yourself, because the ultimate fight is within yourself, and that's why people come to this. That's why these talents seek this out, to find who they truly are by fighting their ultimate enemy, which is themselves. So presenting that to the public will be different, and the live aspect starts 3/5 in Orlando, and I'm very excited because the way we've done this in the past, like when I talked about Adam, we created the second feature, Free the Narrative 2, The Monster in Us All, where we had to kill the monster so this man could rise something new.
The Titan.
The Titan.
Oh, yeah.
Is he there yet, though? I don't know. It's like we almost need to see Free the Narrative 3. That might be starting filming here soon in 3, I don't know, maybe right after the Tin Roof. Maybe at the Tin Roof. I don't know. But through that, when I said the buzzwords, the keywords, television deal, company, I never said it'd be a company that has everything you think it would have, but it is a company, and we will be on television. We have a brand new television partner. I cannot divulge yet, but they have signed Control Your Narrative to provide this interesting experience, a home and a platform, and I'm very excited about that. So
think about the fact that you've already signed a TV deal before even having an official show. Yeah. Right? You're literally
I have sold 0 tickets.
You're ahead of the curve.
And I have a television deal. Imagine that. It's with ingenuity, but like times have changed. And if you look at, I don't know, the way you have 500,000 followers on TikTok. Like media is consumed differently.
I control the narrative.
You do, my friend. Well, China controls that narrative. But whatever.
They control my narrative.
Like we're in a creator economy now, where you can create new things and you don't have to go the typical routes. You don't have to go through Hollywood to make a movie. You don't have to go through a 3-letter brand to start a wrestling company. You can create something new and unique because of the ingenuity. And I walk into here, and because people believe, which is the greatest responsibility I have now, and it burdens me because I feel responsible for everyone upholding the beliefs that they've had in me to come this far and continue going forward and take this next step, especially when there's no money in the narrative yet. So we haven't sold a ticket yet, right?
It's there though. It's they see it.
Yeah.
Anyone who sees the big picture knows that there's a lot of potential there.
There is, but what helps is belief from you really volunteered to come shoot the show. That means a lot to me. I don't know what I can give you other than a great show and the opportunity to collaborate, and hopefully something great happens and we build a great relationship and I go to your cheesesteak place and eat you out of house and home on a cheat day.
Or I can get him on the show and we can do like a collaboration on a cheesesteak burger or something creative. There we go.
I mean, that'd be
We're
good
not here for
content.
money. We're here for partnerships, so it's going to work out just fine.
Yeah. But that excites me and that thanks me, and that's what brought us to this part is the belief and the amount of effort I've had from so many people within the industry and outside of it. So I don't know, like I said last night, I was eating sweet potatoes and liver alone. I'm a loser. Not a loser, I just like my solitude. But to know I have that support and that kind of friendship from other people means the world.
Well, EC3, I so thank you for coming on the show. Where they can find you on any of the social medias, and where can they buy tickets for this event?
All right. At The Real EC3. I am not on TikTok, but I am on Instagram, Facebook, I know, and Twitter, which I hate. I don't even look at Twitter. It's a cesspool. If you go to my bios on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, there's that little link, and you can buy tickets there. You click on it, and it goes, 3-5 tickets. Or you go to outhousetickets.com, search for CYN or Control Your Narrative, 3-5 Tin Roof Dallas, 7 o'clock. 3-5 Tin Roof Orlando, 7 o'clock. 3:31 Dallas, Texas time to be determined based on the war I'm about to get in. From there, we're going to be here, once every couple of weeks now? Because I have new friends, and that's cool, man.
This is exciting.
We're going to have a guest host.
Outhousetickets.com.
Outhousetickets.com.
Nico, where can they find you at?
Nico Extra, you know where to find me. I'm famous, damn it.
You can find me always, Vincent LaSpada, on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and your mom's basement. Until next week, we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
Good job, bro.
Excellent, boys.
Wow.
Woo! Bring it all, dude. Bye. If not, it's not rock and roll.
That was
Good job, everyone. We'll see you later. Thank you.
All right, we're out of here, boys.
We're out of here.
That's it?